Alright, we got a quick part 2 on this. We wanted to get in a few questions. And, you know, the traditional question and answer session that we're so well known for doing and hosting. You know, basically, for those who may not have gotten the whole dealing with the Trinity or the Triad and dealing with the development of the cycles and the Triad of the node, I'm going to expound on and in between this, you know, you have your eyes, or awareness. And once again, you've heard of Dr. Ray about why the eyes are shaped that way. There's a reason why they're shaped that way, by the way. Yeah, it messed me up when I heard it too. I was like, well, yeah, that's real. But anyway, so you're basically dealing with your nasal area, and right beneath that is your mouth. And, you know, of course, this is also in a slant formation similar to the eyes, if you notice. So now, this is the awareness area of self. Don't forget about the ears, because this is the sound. This is the sound personification of your development in the womb. And so that's why I say that you have 2 eyes with 1 vision, 2 ears with 1 sound. You know, you got 2 nostrils with 1 smell, but you only got 1 mouth. So you're supposed to look twice as hard, look twice as much, listen twice as much, and, you know, take your time and, you know, take your breath and to breathe and center yourself before you speak. That's the analogy there. And that's why you have 2 of each one. You know, you have your 2 hands, which you're putting together and you're doing one thing. You got 2 feet, even though they're alternating, but you're going in one direction at any given time. So, and all that is done in pairs, except when you have 2 pair of lips, you can say that upper row of teeth, lower row of teeth, but you only have 1 tongue. And this tongue even has 5 areas, or 6 areas rather, and which is reflecting into the 6 cranial nerves of the brain, or this particular symbol. You have your 6 points, and you have 6 major cranial nerves. You know, the pituitaries in the center. This would be your forehead or your brow. So for a lot of those that didn't get this, this is the symbol of the shield and the ankh, or the shield and the crescent, with the ankh in the center, of course. And this is just a confirmation of who we are and what we came to do, and how it all ties into you. And while a picture's worth 1,000 words, and we use these symbols, so now that we can learn how to activate these higher senses. But now it's time to use the tonal word play. Like, a lot of y'all are probably familiar with Charmed. You're probably familiar with a lot of these TV shows dealing with witchcraft and sorcery. And they always got to say something. They got to speak a certain word. They always got to have a staff or some kind of magic wand, right? And they got to say this thing in this rhythm, and it's always rhyming, if you notice. It always got a catchy rhyme to it that you speak with this staff. So that's the depiction of wizards and warlocks and witches. They want to keep that from you. So what we're going to do here now is to give you back all of your stuff. And when I mean your stuff, it's not even just dealing with a race of people. But in this instance, being that the Nubians of the world are the first race of people, and we use pictographs before there was words, and even before that we had mental telepathy, so there was no use for writing at all at one point in time. But as it came down and descended, we were wise enough to know that you could just use a symbol and let the mind do the rest of the work. because then it became a multi-dimensional thing. A symbol can mean a whole lot of things to a whole lot of people, depending on where you are in your life at the time. And then later on, you can learn something else, and that same symbol has a whole other meaning now. So that's the beauty of it, of being brought to you in stages, like the 9 stages or the 3 stages of birth, which are 3 times 3. So now that we're dealing with these tones that we have to speak back to earlier and being in tune, and which relates to the ta of the tongue, we got to get back to starting to speak these tones. Y'all out there watching this, y'all need to start saying and reciting Nun Ta Re. This is an actual activation key, because the tongue is the key that unlocks the chambers. But anyway, we won't go too far into that, because you know, I mean, that's something into something else. But the tongue is the key that unlocks the box, basically, and that box is linked in to the chest. And I won't go too far into that, because that's part of a sacred order that you have to get initiated in, for those who know that we take it seriously. But anyway, as time comes, that should be revealed to you as well. But the tones of Nun Ta Re are activating these senses that are the multidimensional, or the 3 stages of awareness that we are in this great day and time, to make all this manifest as a part of ourself. And this is, you would call, the face of the person. And now, you know, so mind you, now you got energy waves hitting the eyes. We're actually bouncing off of something else, and they're hitting the eye, because it doesn't never directly hit your eye. It's got to bounce off an object into you. It's kind of strange too. You would think light would come right to your eye, but it doesn't. It bounces off everything else, and you get the after effects of it. Sounds travel to your ear, and they bounce around the eardrum, these inner chambers in the ear, and they turn into signals. You got frequency traveling through your nose, and they bouncing around, they turning into signals. You got things tasting, touching your tongue, they turn into signals going to the brain. And then, of course, the largest organ of all is the skin, and everything else is hitting the skin, and that's going through signals in the brain. So now, you look at a bunch of lines, you might see, you know, like this, and some may be going like this, some may be going like this, you know, some are real wide and real looping and real curving, like gamma rays or microwaves. Microwaves are moving real fast. That's why they cook this food, they spinning the atom, they spinning the H2O molecules at its angle and making it, you know, use friction to heat it up. You have other rays like X-rays that are long and penetrating, or gamma rays, ultraviolet rays. So all these rays are waves of energy in motion, and they're moving at a certain rate of speed. But once again, you can't look at it from a side view. You have to imagine it coming at you. So something could be spinning this fast at you, or something could be spinning like this at you. And usually the bigger and slower it's going, the more depressing it is. And here's the trick about music and tone. When they say you have to lower your vibrations and lower your frequency, then that means you have to settle down and you want to use a lower bass tone, right? But if you look at how fast things move, the faster it moves is a higher irritating tone according to music. Like a high-pitched tone, like a shrill guitar shriek, that's a disturbing, distraction, chaotic sound. That's not an agreeable sound. And although a music scale is moving fast, you would consider high vibration or high frequency agreeable, but in actuality, it's harmful to you. You want to seek out the low, slow, the tones that are moving at a slower vibration, which is tuning you down, like when the cats purr. You go another one of them cat phrases, them P phrases, and P word purr. The cat purrs and it vibrates. You can feel it settling down. And if you hold a cat while it's purring, then you're going to settle right on down with him. And it's just so soothing and calming.
Did you go into the P and the science of the P?
Yes.
The B?
The P and the B.
And the F?
Yes, gladly. When you're dealing with the P, for one, you're looking at a shape. It's a line and it's a semicircle.